Hey, it's Kathleen Gage with Power Up for Profits, the Plant-Based Way and Plant-Based Eating Trail. This morning I went on a run. It was a 4-mile run, and I've been doing that every day this week just to get out and really shake up my energy and really change my physiology. And I've been taking Roxy out with me to really get her used to running the trails. Because what I know to be true is if I wait for her to be ready, she'll never be ready. And that's what I kept saying to myself. When she's ready, I'll take her. The reality is that we're never ready. And as I was running today, I was listening to Eric Thomas. And Eric Thomas is a pretty aggressive motivational speaker. And actually pretty aggressive is kind of a understatement. He's very aggressive. And yet I kind of like his style, because the reality is his style is all about how bad do you want something. And as I look at the commonalities between all the people who have succeeded at a very high level, the common thread is they all hit some kind of a rock bottom. They all made a decision to do things differently, and then they took daily action. They also all talk about failure. It's really amazing how people will delete that from their conversation, or they'll delete that from hearing an inspirational, motivational speaker, a trainer of any type. They conveniently delete the word, you will fail. And the reality is that you will fail. The more you go after what you want, the harder it becomes. And yet, on some levels, it becomes easier. Let me explain what I mean. For example, in running, today I ran 4 miles. It was delightful, absolutely delightful. And I remember back a few years ago when I tried to do my first mile, I was like, why do people do this? This is crazy. And yet something got triggered in me to where I wanted to try it again and again and again. To the point that now I do 5Ks, 10Ks, 10 milers, half marathons. I've done a couple of full marathons, and I like to be able to say, yes, I did that, and yet I don't want to do it again. That's not really in my wheelhouse of what I find exciting. Yet it's a way to push myself. And so as you think about what you want to accomplish in life, are you willing to push yourself, or do you sit on the sidelines saying someday? Because the fact is, someday is not going to happen. Someday is today. As I was out running, listening to Eric Thomas, I was thinking about how the past really doesn't define who we are unless we want the past to define who we are. What defines who we are the actions we take on a daily basis as we move forward in life. And we've all heard we're not promised beyond today. There's no guarantee of tomorrow, which is true. So why not make the very best of today? So I'm on my run and I'm thinking about my past, and I'm thinking about working on my memoir. I actually had a great conversation with my editor yesterday, and there's a part of me that really needs to tell the story. I know that story needs to be told. The story about how I was couch surfing for a long time. I was out on the streets. Then I turned my life around and I got my first job, my first real job. And that turned into my next job, and that turned into my next job. And I kept building one success on top of another to now I've had my business for 25 years. Way back when I was running and gunning, way back when I was getting kicked out of bars, way back when I was living my life in a way that was completely opposite of what it is today, I had no idea that my life could be as good as it is today. And it's not even on the material level that I'm talking about. I'm talking about emotionally, spiritually, physically. Never in my wildest dreams did I think at nearly 65 years old, I'll be turning 65 next week, that I would be running a half marathon. That's what I'm doing to celebrate my 65th birthday. I've had people say, are you going to have a party? Are you going to celebrate? Yes, I'm celebrating the fact that my body can do what it can do. Now, did that happen by chance? No. It happened by design. It happened by me getting out and being physical, by what I put into my body. As you probably know, I'm plant-based. I'm whole food plant-based, and I've been that way for about 8 months now. Huge, huge change. I did a podcast interview this morning, and one of the questions that came up was, what's been one of the best changes you've made in your life? Other than stopping to drink and drug 35 years ago, making the change of what I eat 8 months ago has been by far the greatest change in my life on all levels. Not only physically because I have more energy, but I am healthier now than I've probably ever been in my life. I have more focus. I have longer endurance, like doing a 4-mile run is nothing for me today. Well, I can't say it's nothing, but it's so much easier than one would anticipate. I also recover faster. I also have a better state of mind. All of that comes as a direct result of the choices that I make on a daily basis of what I put into my body. What are you making choices on that are either moving you closer to what you want in life or further away? The reality is that our life is created day by day, moment by moment, decision by decision, and the actions that we take behind the decisions. Because, you know, there's such a misunderstanding that if we visualize what we want and we affirm what we want, we're going to get what we want. Not necessarily true. You have to put the action behind the visualization and the affirmations. I can affirm all I want that I'm going to cross the finish line on May 19th and I'm going to cross standing up and I'm going to have a fairly decent time. I can affirm that all I want. If I don't practice leading up to that day, then I'm going to probably hurt myself on May 19th. But because I've been going on short runs, long runs, I've been weight training, I've been spinning, I've been doing yoga, all of that combined, and I've been eating healthy, that's going to get me across the finish line. So what's your marathon? What's your finish line? What is it that you need to do? What do you need to change in order to live at the level that you know you deserve to live? What do you need to do in your business? What do you need to do in your relationship? What do you need to do with your finances? What do you need to do with your health? All of that plays into the level of success that you're going to have in your life. This is Kathleen Gage with Power Up for Profits, the plant-based way, and plant-based eating for health, encouraging you. Go out, do what you're here to do, play big, because if you don't play big, you may as well go home. What is the point of putting your toe in the water and giving half measures to what you do? Years ago, I learned a saying, half measures avail us nothing. Half measures avail us nothing. I also learned, don't quit 5 minutes before the miracle. So often people give up before they realize their greatest success. I'm going through a training course right now with Hal Elrod, the author of The Miracle Morning and Miracle Equation. And he talks about make that commitment, have unwavering faith, and then take massive action every single day. Now, the thing is we can have unwavering faith for 5 minutes, but what happens in minute 6 if we don't have unwavering faith? We have to have checks and balances in place to assure that we get our faith back. And faith is faith in ourselves that we can take the action we need to take to do what we need to do. So figure out what you want to do. Mine right now is building my new market reach within the plant-based, vegan, sustainable green industries and getting some contracts for marketing, getting speaking engagements, all of that. Really important to me because I love those industries. And it's also finishing my memoir. I have a story to tell. I can either keep the story inside and wonder what would have happened, or I can take the risk of telling the story, shocking a few people, more than a few people, and impacting lives in the way that I know I'm meant to impact lives. What are you doing to impact lives? What are you doing to play full out? What are you doing to live fully? This is Kathleen Gage.